Now we welcome back to the show Brett Velicovich, former Army Special Ops Intel analyst, Powerus founder, and Fox News contributor. Brett, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you for your service, first of all. So the president was trying to thread the needle here. He wanted to inform the American public so they could get more behind him and what he's doing. At the same time, he didn't want to tip his hand to the enemy. Do you think he succeeded?
Yeah, I think he definitely is succeeding. And the proof is in the pudding. We're systematically dismantling our adversaries' war-fighting capability day by day. Let's call Epic Fury what it is at this point. It's a decisive demonstration of American strength under this administration and proof of the unmatched dominance of the United States military. Over 12,000 precision strikes since this began. That's not escalation, but it's precise execution. That's what it looks like when the United States stops finally talking about deterrence with Iran and actually enforces it. They pushed us, and right now they're getting pushed back harder. Their military infrastructure is being dismantled. Their command and control is under pressure. Their ability to operate freely in the region is shrinking day by day. Yeah. And that's what global leadership looks like.
But Brett, hold on one second, because I was narrowing it down more specifically to what he said last night while he was trying to do two things: continue to not tip his hand to the enemy, that is, hold things close to the vest, while at the same time explaining to the American people, while as much as he could inform them, why it was so important. That was the needle I was thinking of him threading.
Yeah, well, it's an important point. I mean, he does have to answer to the American people why we are going to battle with Iran, and to explain the importance of some of the sacrifices that Americans at home are going to have, whether it's at the gas tank or with the economics of it. But the reality is that this is a regime that for years has conducted terrorism around the world. And if we don't stop them right now, we may never will. And so we need to continue to go after them and make some sacrifices here at home so that we can ensure they cannot toy with nuclear Armageddon, ever again. And let's give credit here where it's due. The administration didn't blink. When global stability was on the line, they didn't hide behind statements or slow roll these decisions. We acted. That matters. In geopolitics, hesitation's weakness, and weakness invites aggression at home. And instead, what we're finally seeing is the reestablishment of American credibility. That's going to transcend many administrations and in the end protect Americans in the long run.
Well, I wish to God that our allies in Europe understood that. Actually, it seems that our allies in the Mideast, our Arab allies, and certainly Israel, understand that much better than our European allies, even though what we are doing is specifically going to make life easier for them.
Yeah, I just left some of the countries in the Middle East, and the message is crystal clear when you talk to some of these government officials over there. They are ready to support. They are tired of Iran pushing them around. And anything that's happened with these strikes from Iran, whether it's drone attacks or these sporadic strikes on terrorism centers, it's brought our allies closer together. They understand that you don't get better behavior from bad actors like Iran by asking nicely. You get it by making the cost of bad behavior unbearable. And that's what's on display right now. We need to come together as a coalition and stop what Iran's doing. I think when Marco Rubio the other day said that the Strait of Hormuz is going to open one way or another, that is a big red line that's not only backed by the full weight of the American Navy and air power, but it's going to be backed by our allies who are tired of Iran playing games for years and years in this region.
Well, let me just play a clip from what the president said about the Strait of Hormuz, because he's given a couple of different messages on what he might do or not do about that. Roll tape.
Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down.
Although he did say yesterday that he's not going to have any kind of ceasefire with Iran unless they open the strait. So what is it?
Well, I think we need to keep striking them and make sure that we stop them from ever being able to mess with the global economy again. I think strategically, when you look at what Iran's doing, they're basically thinking and betting that the United States doesn't have the will to finish what it started. They're very calculating right now, and they're calculating that we're not going to hit back. They want haters of this administration to carry their talking points and try and sow chaos among us. But it's not working, because I do feel like both sides of the aisle understand that Iran is a true threat. But Iran's strategy is clear to me. They want to survive. They want to stall. They want to keep the uranium. They are trying to defeat us by outlasting our will. It's an endurance fight for them right now. Yeah. And now is not the time to back off. Now is the time to put maximum pressure. And the reality check is that no military on earth can do what the United States just did at this scale, this speed, this precision. Not one, not China, no Russia, no coalition, just us. Yeah, yeah. And we need to continue going after them and end this regime once and for all for global humanity.
The funniest thing that I've heard coming out of Iran recently was the Iranian claim that their military capabilities were intact, and there was a guy from the ministry of their Ministry of War saying, you know nothing of our vast strategic capabilities. It kind of reminds me of that Monty Python scene where the guy, that soldier has both his arms cut off and he's still kicking, saying, what are you afraid of? Go ahead, just try. There's a picture of it.
Oh, gosh, that's the Iranians. It's all talk. It's all talk.
But, you know, this is a moment I don't think I've ever seen, even during the Vietnam War, a moment when there were more people in the opposition rooting for the bad guys to win, or at least sort of parroting some of their lines about what's happening in the war. I think back to Jane Fonda and a couple of people like that in Vietnam. But this is practically the entire Democrat Party. I really have never seen anything so disgraceful in my life.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But look, at the same time, I think the moment right now where we are at war, it should be a catalyst, not a victory lap. We are decimating them. But even in dominance, we see the future of warfare unfolding in real time. Yeah. And the good news is that the administration, our military are adapting. We're winning the fight today. But this really just isn't about Iran overall. It's a message to every adversary watching. America's back in the driver's seat. We're decisive. We're capable. And we're going to win. And the next time you test the United States, you're not going to get a warning anymore. That's it.
Brett Velicovich, great stuff, Brett. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.